and this one person wrote, "Leave a mark," and scribbled a blob on the note card with pen. No name, that was it. I couldn't tell if they put the least amount of effort into this or the most. This person clearly did this in 3 seconds with the closest writing utensil nearest them. But this is the one I saved. This is what stuck with me. Now, I'm not using this as a metaphor, saying that you'll be recognized for the things that you put the least amount of effort into, although I'm sure many of you would agree that's how your gen eds went. I'm saying you'll be remembered for the mark that you left. If you think you just went 4 years without doing this, you're probably wrong, but that's okay. You still have time. And I know you'll forget the majority of what is said today. Just remember that whether you joined the Peace Corps, became the best dancer on Dickie's wall, or rocked out on guitar like that ginger Afro kid who is not related to me, you became someone and left a legacy. Be you, be true, and stay beautiful. Now, Madam President, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to introduce Ivana Djukic, who's graduating today with a Bachelor's of Arts degree in International Studies and Political Science. Next year, Ivana will be attending the Elliott School of International Affairs at the George Washington University, where she will pursue a Master's of Arts degree in International Affairs. Please welcome Ms. Ivana Djukic. Graduating President of the SGA, for that introduction. Good afternoon, President Lusky, distinguished guests, honored faculty, family, and fellow graduates. My journey began in a small city called Zenica in former Yugoslavia. Like many children, I was the product of a mixed marriage. My dad is Serbian, my mom Croatian, both from Bosnia and Herzegovina. We lived for years near neighbors and friends of different ethnicities, but that never mattered. We were all Yugoslavian. Everything changed in 1992. Shortly after the Civil War broke out, Zenica was seized by a paramilitary group. Snipers and explosions became a part of our everyday lives. People disappeared, never to be heard from again. By 1993, things had become so dangerous that my mom and I were forced to leave. Although we did not know it at the time, the two of us took the last bus out of Zenica before all the bus routes were shut down. I was 9 months old. Separated from my dad, we found temporary shelter in a Swedish refugee camp. Finally, in 1994, we were reunited with my dad. When my parents' application to the United Nations Refugee Resettlement Program was accepted in 1997, we moved to the United States. Leaving with just a few suitcases, we said goodbye to everyone and everything we loved. I remember being at the airport, watching my grandma cry, and not fully comprehending that we were leaving forever. My first couple of years in Maryland seemed like an exciting adventure. Looking back, I now see that my parents simply did a remarkable job of making sure I was not aware of how hard life was for us. The one thing I discovered as soon as we arrived was the importance of learning English. When I was approached on the playground by a couple of girls, I could not understand what they were asking me. They just started laughing and pointing at me. I ran inside, cried, and I promised myself that that would never happen again. I would learn to speak English and prove that even though I'm from a country many people have not heard of, I'm still smart. Growing up, coming to Towson University and becoming part of the Towson community never completely took away the longing to be back with my family and friends in the former Yugoslavia. No matter how many friends I make here and how much I value the education and opportunities I have, I feel as though I live in two worlds. Last summer, I returned to Serbia and Croatia for a few weeks. Every night, I sat up for hours with my aunts and cousins, talking and laughing, catching up on life. Living in two worlds and two cultures has not always been easy, but I was motivated. I patiently worked my way through ESOL, English for speakers of other languages. Today, many people say they would never guess that English is not my first language. My majors in international studies and political science also reflect my personal history. I am passionate about the world and deeply interested in the effects that conflicts in countries have on individuals, families, and especially children. I am grateful to have taken courses here with professors who are always willing to answer my endless questions and who pushed me to achieve things that I did not think were possible, including writing an 80-page international policy paper. It was the product of many sleepless nights, but it taught me one of the most important lessons I learned in the College of Liberal Arts. Challenges are endless, but we have choices. We can let challenges overwhelm us, or we can take another breath and tackle them head on. Despite my best efforts, countless research projects, and lengthy political science papers, I still do not understand the conflict that occurred in the former Yugoslavia that forced us to leave. The journey that began in Zenica in 1993, when I was just 9 months old, brought me here to stand in front of you today as we celebrate our academic success. Although I cannot change the past, I am determined to use it to motivate and challenge myself. As I continue on to graduate study at the Elliott School at George Washington University, I plan to pursue a career in an international humanitarian aid agency in order to help refugee children who are victims of war, just like I was so many years ago. My scars, though healing, are important reminders that the past can motivate us to work toward making the future better for others. We all have scars of some kind. We must remember that scars do not represent weakness. On the contrary, they are symbols of our strength. As graduates of the College of Liberal Arts, we leave here today to pursue our dreams. As we do, remember the words of author Harold Kushner. Forces beyond your control can take away everything you possess except one thing: your freedom to choose how you will respond to the situation. I hope that my story will convince you not to be afraid of scars. Let them motivate you as mine have motivated me. We can be very proud of our accomplishments today, but our journey does not end here. We take the best of our liberal arts education with us. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2014.